Today we're going to learn how to process stinging nettles for cooking so that you can actually eat them and touch them and work with them. What I've picked yesterday is a batch of stinging nettles. This is Urtica dioica. Urtica dioica is our native wild nettle. Well, the first thing we're going to do is put a bunch of the nettles in a colander and wash them off, because we did get them out in the dirt and out in the wild. And just don't forget that you're working with nettles when they're raw. They do sting a lot, and the sting doesn't come from an allergy, it actually comes from an acid. So it's real damage it's doing to you. So please really be careful with them. Use tongs or use leather gloves. Don't use cloth gloves, the acid will get through the cloth too. So when you're done with that, just kind of let it drain out a little bit. And you're going to move it straight to a pot of boiling water. It really helps to add some salt to the water. That helps bring out the flavors of the nettles. So just put some salt in there. After you've got your nettles washed, you're going to put them straight into the pot. And they boil down. They lose their size. Like all greens, they boil down pretty quickly. And they do have a distinct flavor. They're not just a typical green thing. You know, they're not like lettuce. They're their own flavor. They're their own being. So you're gonna get it in there, and what you're doing here is creating a nettle tea, which a lot of people actually drink and use. I don't. I'm still a little worried about it. But what we're doing is cooking off the acid from the nettles. Helps to get a nice rolling boil. That'll take about a minute. Right now it's mid-February, and we've had quite a dry year. When you're foraging, you need to consider what the weather's doing. You need to know what's happening on the outside. With the dry weather, a lot of these nettles have come up earlier, but they also haven't come up nearly as high. They're being found in real moist spots since the weather's drier. That's going to be farther down in ditch lines. That's going to be right along creek sides, whereas when you have wetter winters, you might find patches of nettles springing up in other parts that are a little bit easier to access. So just be careful when you're out there. Well, when they're ready to be done, and they look boiled, they'll look a little more boiled. They'll be, a lot more wilted, and you won't see nearly as many of the hairs on the plant. So we'll just take a batch out now, and we're going to shock it in cold water, and then put them onto a tea towel here, and just straight to the cold water. Just get it down in there. Now this helps. This will keep the wonderful color. And you're just going to shock them in there for a few seconds at a time, 30 seconds or so, and then you'll pull them out, and they'll keep that beautiful color. Then whatever you put them into, whatever recipe you end up putting them in, they'll keep this amazing green. And then after they've been in the water here just a little bit, you're just going to take them out, put them in a towel. All right. And then just roll the towel up, squeeze out all the water. And you've got your nettles. That's all it took. If you want to freeze them, then you can either put them in a Ziploc bag, or if you get a vacuum sealer, you can vacuum seal them at this point and use them for up to a year.